Opening up Masters of the Universe Origins figures here, got a hold of Webstor. I'm going to talk about why I'm going to add him to my collection, and some of his features, and we'll go over his appearance and all of that. Pretty big one for me to add, actually, so I'll let you know why once we have him opened. Always teasing more characters on the boxes. Rock and a Hard Place, we get a new little comic here. We got a little bit of continuation of the Faker Wave story going on. Army of Fakers. Webstor is here. Also other characters from the Wave like Stinkor and the Green Goddess. Little reference to that other Prince Adam costume, kind of comic book style. These are really a good mix of old comic, cartoon, and just these figures in general. Lots of accessories with Webstor. Alright, so we'll take a look at him here. I think he's got a little darker colors than maybe the original figure from the 80s. A darker purple armor and a lot darker blue for his skin. But same face and everything else. Red belt and everything. A little bit of a departure from his cartoon appearance, just no pupils in his eyes. But it is a pretty awesome look. He did have quite the tooth deal and then these top eyes in the show and then this kind of mohawk sort of thing going on there. So great look kind of between the figure and show, just in between there. We have his backpack as his main feature with the grappling hook, although I think in the cartoon it was red more, but again this is just basing it off that original toy. Kind of has spots where you can kind of wrap the rope around. And of course this is going to be removable. I think maybe this is a little softer plastic than the original, but it will still do the old trick of pulling down on the bottom one and he'll actually go up the rope on his own. Pretty sweet. We'll grab Gray Skull here and play around with it. You can see that climbing feature. I'm glad I didn't just go, oh well, you know, this has a feature so it's a deluxe figure, pay more. It's like, you know, all of them used to have some kind of feature just to play, so you can't just say everything's a deluxe. So I'm glad they didn't go nuts there. Problem is, you know, you do have to kind of wrap this cord up and just kind of get it out of your way if you're not using his climbing feature. So just to have this like posed in your collection, a little obnoxious to be getting out of the way. There's no like display backpack. You just always have to have the grappling hook ready. But the chest piece is removable, but then he won't have his design and everything on there. He does come with a sweet orange laser gun. Actually, he needs like another holding hand so he can kind of do this dual wield with the front end there, but he doesn't have an alternate hand. Actually kind of cool, even the old figure that came with so much accessory had the gun and the grappling hook feature. I think in the show he pretty much just uses his hook. It's actually different than the Gray Skull blaster. I thought maybe it was just the same one, just recolored, but it's actually a different design. Cool bonus there. I like the choice of the orange just for extra crazy color instead of red that would match his eyes and belt. It's like all the crazy colors of this whole toy line. So he's pretty great. He pretty much always is like in a tag team on the show with Cobra Khan. So I'm left wanting Cobra Khan pretty bad after this one to go with it. Because I base the figures that I get for Origins, I base off of the cartoon, if they've appeared in the old cartoon or not. I gotta limit myself somehow. I always say that. Make sure you kind of pick your parameters of what you're going to collect instead of just like, I'll buy everything. Because then you're going to just have tons of stuff. So unless Masters of the Universe is the only action figures you collect, you might want to just kind of set a general. But that's just my suggestion. So for me, I just collect from appearances in the cartoon, and Webstor and of course his tag team partner Cobra Khan were in the Secret of the Sword movie, like the origin episodes introducing She-Ra. It was kind of later in the He-Man show, so he had these different characters coming in. But there were just some He-Man episodes with him as well. But since I watched that Secret of the Sword movie so many times as a kid, this is actually a pretty big character to add for him, because I saw him quite a few times. Oh yes! Only problem was he had the worst voice of any of the villains, I think, on the show. He had that nasally, high-pitched voice. Didn't really suit his fairly intimidating appearance. I mean, he's not bigger than anybody else, but pretty scary face, and then the spider theme. It's just kind of, not really a pig nose, but it's like his skull, like, cut off nose and the weird ears and everything. He's very, like, super monstery. Had such a nerdy voice, though. Kind of blue and purple color scheme of Skeletor, but they just did different enough hues and darkness and levels and things that very unique color amongst all the other villains, so I do like that with just the variety of the appearances and things. Problem is, the rest of the wave I really have no reason to get. The Eternian Goddess, not in the cartoon. Stinkor never got to appear in the cartoon, and then Beastman's Lords of Power appearance, really no artwork that I ever saw as a kid. Unlike the Merman appearance, the face in the artwork was very much like the Lord's Power one, so that's why I like to add that one to my collection instead, just because I did always dream of having these as a kid, and I never got to have any of the original figures. But on the back of the art books and things, this was the face on Merman, not the one that he really comes with. But sadly, the rest of the wave, I don't really have a reason to collect the way I'm doing these right now. You know, I might crack one of these days and say, I just want everything later, but for now, we got Webstor, not the most popular character, but did get to appear on the cartoon a few times, which is more than some characters can say. So love adding him, love that he was in the Secret of the Sword movie, and I'll still be opening all my other Masters of the Universe Origins stuff. I will throw out, I wish once we get most of the main characters done in the Origins line, it would actually be pretty cool if they made some characters from the old cartoon, like the episode of Webstor, Cat and the Spider, and the Katrina character. They did make a figure of her, probably in the classics line that I wasn't able to collect, but it would be cool to see retro versions of those characters, like do them in the style that they think they would have done in the 80s, but in the Origins style. It'd be pretty cool to see, and a cool way just to add more characters to the line, if it gets that far, you know. I still got quite a few characters to make, like I said, Cobra Khan and Whiplash, Clawful, and just various others, so plenty more I'm looking for, and there's plenty more I would get if they were based off of that original 80s cartoon. So do give me a like if you like my Masters of the Universe Origins reviews. That helps a lot. But otherwise, we will open more in the future. So I'll see you in the next video. Oh, I'm an intimidating guy, aren't I? Ho ho. Nothing scarier than this voice. What? You're not scared? I gotta rethink my voice here. Oh crap.